Good evening. We are live from as yet unnuked London. We've just heard that Big Ben is stopping until 2021, while in the USA, time is actually going backwards. This is the Kaneing Live! Yes. Welcome to the Kaneing Live, coming with no delay, live from Facebook HQ UK. What's the worst that could happen? I always feel like when I'm live, I'm just going to get my willy out and say spunk and then get arrested or something. I just did it, didn't I? I just said spunk.
We wouldn't be able to see it.
We haven't introduced you yet. We don't exist. We can't even see you, ironically. Tonight's show, we're lucky to have it sponsored by Guam Pacific Island All-Inclusive Holidays. That's right, for just 5,000 degrees Celsius, pounds, you can enjoy powder white hot sand and literally stunning views of the Korean Peninsula. Now, the show's simple, people, if you're wondering, well, hey, what is this crazy new show? It's not crazy, it's not new. We're just going to combine stand-up, debate, comments, repeat 3 times, 5 vodka afterwards, then travel lodge, where I rock back and forth in isolation because I picked a job that on the outside looks fun and sociable, but in reality is crushingly lonely and filled with desperate masturbation. Good evening. So who's on my panel today? I can't do this on my own. I have a star comedian who's so much from Brighton that she even fed her cat vegan food. That cat died because mammals need meat. Grow up, you bellends. It's Zoe Lyons! Hello! Also joining us, comedy legend, journalist and a man with opinions so forthright they've got throbbing veins on their shaft. It's Tom Jolly, ladies and gentlemen! And our third panellist, a chap not scared to say what he thinks, or rather, without the correct meds, he's not sure what he's saying. And it's the cigar-smoking, Trump-loving, booby-squeezing friend of the left, John McCruick.
Boo him! Boo him! No booing! No applause! Boo! Boo him!
Nurse, help me, nurse. Now, I can't do this without someone helping me to host this. Driving the whole beast with me, it's the stimulatingly bright and beautiful AJ Adudu, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely stunning. Hashtag webcam in the dressing room. Log on to the dark net to see her getting changed. Now, guys, how are you? We'll crack on in a minute. Zoe, have you had a good week? Are you feeling angry, inspired? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, mildly peeved, I think, this week, Russell.
That is angry.
That's sort of, yeah.
For our international viewers, mildly peeved is furious in American.
A bit angry about these Dutch eggs coming over here, giving us the shits, you know, that sort of thing.
What about our diarrhea for us? British diarrhea.
British eggs should be giving us salmonella, not the Dutch ones being sent over. I'm all for exit now. That's what I'm back in.
Exit. I'm on. Dom, I'm relying on you to be a combination of fiercely intelligent and a little bit grumpy. Are you going to deliver?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do the grumpy. I brought that. I'm just excited to be in Facebook headquarters. It's like the evil empire. Although someone just told me it's not actually Facebook headquarters.
No,
There's 3 buildings in London, and we're in the engineering building, which is not quite as exciting as I hoped. So
we're in the data.
I'm off to Google for a drink after
we're in data right now.
We are the future of TV.
And of course, John McCruick.
All I'm saying is bring back Edwina Curry, solve the Dutch egg problem.
Yes.
Edwina's the one. But I have to...
Never bring Edwina Curry back to anything.
It's terrible. I was on wife swap with her. Don't tell me about it. Now, but here, I'm fascinated and besotted with OJ.
Yeah.
Now, one thing about...
Just to be clear,
OJ's still in prison.
No.
OJ's still in prison. It's different.
But the great thing about her is, there's many great things about her, but one of the things is she's wearing the Toon black and white stripes.
Yes.
You're a Newcastle supporter. Away the lads. We lost 2-0. Who supports Spurs here? No one. 2-0. Terrible.
Let's crack on with the show, John. We'll get you the shots you desperately need in a minute. In a minute, AJ will try on a glove to work out whether he's guilty or not. And so a lot of you have been suggesting stories for us to rag senseless. I post in the week begging for inspiration. You suggest, and we go with whichever ones we feel have got the most heat and potential. However, I am gutted a couple of topics did not make the top 3 tonight. Armed police. Have you seen this story? Armed police are now using headwear cameras. Good idea, people?
Yes.
Good idea. This should definitely be rolled out to traffic police too. It'd help them remember the best BJs they got from speeding motorists. Yeah? This is for 6 points, love. That's what I call a head camera. Snapchat, I've heard, are working on a special filter. That way, when they approach a black or Asian person, they can make it look like they were holding a gun already. Nice one, Snapchat. The other story that caught your eye, people have been messaging about this one. Booze booze potentially being banned on British flights. Have you seen this today? Potentially we get too plastered. Listen, if you restrict booze on British flights, we will not be able to get back from Ibiza to Essex. It'll be impossible. How are you supposed to smooth out your come down on the way back from San Antonio if you can't knock back JD's? Gary will chew his fucking lips off. It's unfair. Give me a whiskey. But the biggest story of the week, I'm throwing caution into the wind, AJ. Now, I'm hoping, given the horrible news, all the stuff we've got going on in the world, it's something whimsical, hot people versus cold people, people that hate all-inclusive holidays, you know, something observational that, you know, I know Zoe would love that.
Something light and fluffy, like Cats, maybe the Spice Girls.
What have you got?
Something about sports. Sadly, everyone was talking on our last show about Brexit. They wanted Brexit. And up until yesterday, I thought, right, Brexit's the topic. However, given the horrific events in Charlottesville, I reckon rise of the right. Go.
Right, lovely. The rise of the right. This is Kaneing. It's a comedy show live from Facebook. The world is spiralling into opposing poles of hate and violence. I'm so glad I've just had a small daughter to raise in this world. Yeah, well done, America. Horse shit! I don't want no brown folk coming up round here disturbing us nice white folk going about our business, none. Yeah? Charlottesville, it was awful, wasn't it? It's hard to make comedy about that, but I'll tell you what is fucking even more awful. Trump's dodgy refusal for 3 days to condemn these Nazi supremacists. A nutter just drove a car into a crowd and killed someone. There's no ambiguity. When it happens with an Islamic terrorist, we label it Islamic terrorism. We should label it for what it is. No, horse shit. Listen, Trump, it's not... No, listen to me. The blame is complex. There are people to blame on all sides. What are you doing with that hand? Are you actually picking opinions out of the air? That's what that weird fucking sex offender pincer is for. I think that lots of different people are to blame. There's not lots of different people to... It's simply... You might as well look at serial killer Ted Bundy and say, you know, with Ted Bundy, there was blame on all sides. Those women went back to his house. In a way, it was their fault too. No. While we're at it, let's blame the locks on children homes for Jimmy Savile. Why not? But... even though you might be watching internationally, I can tell you here in the UK it's a little bit more confusing. And do you know what, people? In a weird way, don't get out of your seats, lefties, because I'm not making this sort of point, but I like to know who my racists are. I'm sorry, I do. I want you in white hoods, racist. I want you marching. I like to see my extreme views with someone waving in the corner with a burning cross. At least you know where they stand.
But you're a fool, because if someone's wearing a white hood, you can't tell who they are.
Very
so
good
who do you
point.
know your racists are if they're wearing a white hood?
It's quite easy, to be honest, because it's the bloke wearing the white hood.
Yeah, but you don't know who he is.
Really simple.
You don't know
They
who
kind
he
of...
is.
It's really simple.
You tell who he is.
Well, AJ, have we had some sort of media sent in, haven't we?
We actually have. I've not seen it yet myself, but Dave Shaft from...
Dave Shaft?
Yeah, Shaft.
That's his porn name, I think.
Yeah. He's from Britain First.
Oh, great.
He sent this
First
beat
before what?
in.
Where's he sent it from?
He sent it in from his local library. That's where he gets the internet from, I
I'm
think.
surprised he can read.
Yeah.
Right, we've got a Britain First video. Let's have a look at it. Here at Britain First, we're not against diversity. We've got one simple demand. We want less mosques built in the United Kingdom. And the reason is simple. Mosque is incredibly hard to spell. How is it fair to spell something with a qu? It doesn't fucking sound like what it's spelt. We want British spellings for British peoples. M-O-S-K. That is the correct spelling for mosque. Until it's modified, there will be no more mosques. Mosques should be ended with a K. K happens to be my favourite letter. I quite like it when 3 of them come together. I'm not a fan of a Q, particularly as it invites queers. And I don't like these either. Tiny dinosaurs. What the fuck's that all about? They'll let anyone in these days. Anyone. Poignant video there, AJ, yeah. But this is what I'm saying. I'd rather know where you stand. And after Brexit, it's got a bit more confusing. No one is saying everyone who voted Brexit is racist or right-wing. We're not saying that, OK? I'm just saying I've heard this sentence a lot. I'm not racist, but... Here, listen. Never, ever put a comma and a but after the sentence, I'm not racist. Put a full stop. I believe you that you're not racist. Nothing good ever follows after that comma. I'm not racist, but... That's like saying I'm not a rapist, but... Get in the van! I don't believe you. Look, I'm really hoping that the people watching tonight are split 50-50. I don't want some covered in hummus, liberal cosy consensus, smear me in tzatziki, let's go to the Dordogne. I don't want that. There is no consensus on this show, is there, John?
Certainly not.
Thank you.
And also,
No one agrees with you, that's for sure.
well, you can't get the Dordogne anymore, can you? Because it's banned.
Of course.
It's a Brexit.
Yeah, Dordogne has been abolished. It's sad news. I'm hoping...
John, what did you vote? I'm just interested to know.
No, you wouldn't think so.
Well, I'm just, it's a random guess.
For
But
goodness sake,
which way did you
out
go?
of Europe, for goodness sake, thank goodness. Drain the swamp
that
in
coming.
America,
Did
thank
not see
goodness.
that
No,
coming.
drain the swamp over here as well.
To be fair, Dom, that's what his leader Voldemort ordered. Yeah, I'm hoping half of you watching will be clingy Remainers. Remainers, everyone in. I'll grow a pubic thatch for the immigrants. Syrians too, live in my thatch. I'm hoping you're watching. And I want Brexiteers watching too. I've taken back control of my country. Have you ever seen anyone with Brexit claw? It's a really painful condition where your hand actually gets permanently disabled just by thinking about the Polish. Right? I'll tell you why Brexit's going tits up. It's because Theresa May, the Crow, is away on holiday, regenerating into her third Doctor Who. And she's gone for a flight at walk. And while she's away, her public schoolboy charges are squabbling about Brexit. Oh, shut up, Jacob Moggy. You're just annoyed that Nanny has left us without tuck while she's on holidays. Right? It's a mess. I've taken back control of my country. Does anyone here or watching feel like we're any more in control at the moment? I grant maybe we will. I don't think we will. And I'm going to make a little freaking prediction now, yeah? In 5 years' time, right, not much is going to change. All the people that have got the shit will still have the shit, and all the people without the shit will still not have the shit. That's what Brexit's going to bring. And what annoys me was there was a third way. The third way was to stay in Europe but be really annoying and change it so that we get what we want. We could have done that. We could have argued.
Of course we couldn't. Don't be ridiculous.
of course we could. That's the problem.
None of you.
Of course we could.
None of you understand the real problem. Europeans will give us nothing. We're going to get nothing from the negotiations because if we're given anything, other countries will want to leave this horrible, corrupt
They don't have to.
Yeah,
organisation.
but now we're not going to give them nothing.
No, exactly. What position we're
We've all got nothing.
Frenchman comes up to me and says, give me something. I go, op it. Yeah. That's it.
Europeans are giving us plenty. You want to go to Amsterdam, bruv? There's lots going on.
But you have to pay for it in Amsterdam.
And my argument was this: if we'd have had a better leader, we could have stayed in. We could have sated all the uncles and granddads, got immigration control. The Greeks did it. We owe money. I will not pay it back. I smashed my plate. Fuck you. That's what the Greeks did. I smashed my plate. I don't pay you back. No, the problem was, John, we had David ham-faced, dick in a pig snout Eton. That's who we had. When he went to Europe, he just bent over and went, just half an inch, please, Mr. Juncker. I'm still a bit sore from boarding school. That's the best he could manage. And the other thing is, I'm conflicted, Dom, because I come from a family of manual labourers. My mum's a cleaner. My mum's partner, my mum's got a boyfriend. Stop shagging my mum. Stop shagging my mum. Sorry. My mum's partner's a carpenter. I come from a family of manual labourers whose wages, and we can argue the reasons in a minute, have genuinely gone down. Yet I voted Remain. So I'm bi-Brexial. That's how I describe myself. Yeah? And I have got time to listen to people who genuinely feel they're earning less because of European immigration. But I'll tell you who I don't have time for. People that haven't worked at all. Have you heard this one? I have not worked at all for 5 years because of the Polish. I have not worked for 5 years because of the Polish. Well, they've left now, Gary. You can get a job. I can't. My back. Back's my Ladies and gentlemen, the first page is complete. Now, I've tried to be balanced, and we will. I've tried to.
Right, yeah, you've done well.
Before we will get stuck into Brexit, because you wouldn't believe it. That's all anyone wants to speak about on programmes like this. But we have to talk about the horrific stuff that's gone on in Charlottesville and Trump's shocking 3-day delay condemning the right. Now, John, I hear through the grapevine, by the grapevine I mean your foghorn announcements, that you are a bit of a Trump fan.
Total
What?
Trump fan. The whole thing is he's run businesses not like the Washington elite.
He's run them into the ground. He's bankrupt 3 times.
Tens, of course. That's what capitalism is about.
What, going bankrupt?
Yes, at times, of course it is. You've
Well,
got
that's
to
good.
go bankrupt at times. That these sort of things happen.
Well, it's compulsory.
No, it's not compulsory, but it does happen.
It helps.
You can't just get the money tree that you want, giving it to
No, you get it off your dad, who's
Yeah.
also a billionaire. That's what happens.
Learn a lesson, woman. Never, ever, never, ever leave. And same One to you, never leave any money to your children, ever. It's the worst thing ever.
Why? Otherwise you become president of America.
No, because they don't work. They don't work. They lose any initiative.
Sorry, you're just talking about Trump that you admire.
Of course you admire him.
No, you admire him.
I admire him.
Because he's been left money by his parents, and you just said, don't do that.
$1 million.
You're getting confused. I think the
Why have I not bet on your horse picks?
Think of all the people he's employed, all the jobs he's given, the prosperity he's given to so many people.
2,000 illegal Mexicans that he's now having to get rid of very quickly on his golf courses.
No.
And his family, because no one else will.
You talk about the wall. We've got our wall. It's called the English Channel. That's our wall, and we complain about America.
They built a bloody tunnel underneath.
You know
they built a tunnel.
And I tell you what, John.
Bloody French built a tunnel.
That wall will soon
and they're coming through it as well.
That wall will soon evaporate when he denies global warming and the oceans die.
Don't tell me you believe all this hoax of global warming.
Jeez.
Do you know Donald Trump's Environment Secretary doesn't believe in global warming? Isn't that fantastic? It's a hoax. We've been ice ages, we've had fires, we've had all sorts of heat waves for tens of thousands of years.
But what about the bloody Nazi base on the moon as well? That is a nightmare, and no one is talking about that.
I love it when people talk about ice ages and changes through climate. Yes, we had. We did.
Yeah, so last year, isn't it?
Absolutely, we did all have that. But in the last 150 years, the world has become completely and utterly industrialised. You only have to look out of any of the windows to see cars and buildings and factories. That wasn't a factor tens of thousands of years ago. The world has moved on. Perhaps you should try and keep up. It is industrialisation that is causing global warming.
So
what was it like in those days?
They had the heat waves. They've had terrible heat waves. They've had ice ages. The channel used to be iced over. Look at it now. So are you complaining? So you want to go back to those days?
But I mean,
and your
most people used to wear hats. Now no one
sail it, couldn't go anywhere.
Hats were considered interesting and tasteful. Now no one wears them. I mean, things change.
At one point, syphilis was fashionable.
But you know all about that.
That was a private conversation.
That's very unfair.
As interesting and invigorating as
it is
climate.
You did mention before not to mention your syphilis.
I did. So. Climate change is interesting, but trying to keep it light and entertaining. We have to. I'd rather interrogate Zoe. Why is it taking this man 3 days to apologise?
Who, John?
No, never apologise.
That will never happen.
Why is Donald Trump taking 3 days to apologise? What did you think of the apology? As we're going live now, he's done this apology just a couple of hours ago.
Well, the first one he did was off the cuff and improvise, and we've learned very quickly that he can't. This is why I really don't like improvisation of any shape or form, be it song, comedy, or Donald Trump speeches, because he can't think off the cuff, because he's not a diplomat, because he's not a politician. I very much doubt he's human. I think he's part blancmange, part straw. And then this latest apology he's given, if you listen to the tone of his voice, it's like he's reading a letter from his mum saying, sorry, I missed PE. It has no heart to it, has no soul to it. The man is a moron.
Because he's a psychopath.
He's a complete psychopath.
He's genuinely a psychopath. Because at the end of the day, whatever you think about Donald Trump is about Donald Trump. He's an amazing showman. He's great. But to me, it's extraordinary that you can understand why people feel disenfranchised in America. They want a protest vote. But of all the people to choose, you choose a man that has been... Literally, if he just kept the money his dad had given him in a bank, he'd have made more money in the interest than he has. He has no interest in anyone else.
You want Hillary, lock her up for a start. Also, what you're going on about, when you think of Donald Trump...
Lock her up for what?
Sorry? Lock her up for the crimes that she's committed.
Which crimes?
Well,
which one? Name one.
All the emails.
What, it's illegal to email?
No, what she's doing...
Booby is emailing all day.
State secrets.
What did she email?
Secrets.
Which one?
Bring them out.
Which one?
She refused, because she wouldn't bring them out.
Well, then she kept them secret, so it's fine.
Hold on, guys.
No, other people read them.
We all talk over each other. People can't hear what we're saying. I've always wanted to do that. David Dimbleby does it. And I must push you on. Why did it take him 3 days to apologise for the horrific event and to properly condemn the white supremacists?
The white supremacists,
because he's a twat.
Yeah, but why did he take 3 days?
He asked me, a fool. No. He realised that it wasn't just the right wing, the left wing as well. They're just as violent. All the riots we've had in our country elsewhere, the left wing just as bad as the right wing are, the BNP, the Nazis over in America. Absolutely terrible. He condemned them all in the round.
What's the flip to BNP and Nazis? What's the left's alternative? What's the same thing?
The left...
What do they have? The Scouts. They're bloody awful, aren't
The
they?
BBC. The
Greenpeace.
bloody BBC.
Yeah, Philip
Greenpeace,
Schofield.
those
I think.
Tosser.
I know,
There's
we're
a
not...
lot of shocked faces
Yes.
online, but also a lot of questions. What do you do with that doll?
It's not my doll. Look
Yeah,
at this.
what do you
Listen,
do with the
listen.
doll? What's with the doll?
That's his soul.
I go to bed with this every night and wake up with it every morning. Isn't it fantastic?
Jesus Christ.
OJ, you'd love this. Would you sleep with this, OJ?
I would not sleep with that.
Please.
Ever.
I feel like we need an antibacterial wipe on the set. AJ, before we move on to Brexit, anyone got anyone losing the plot? Any pro-Trump people? I don't want cosy back-patting on here. Where are the pro-Trump people? Have they got access to the internet yet, or is that in about 5 years'
I
time?
love Donald
that's
Trump.
also in
I have to say,
about
I
5
do
years'
love Donald
time.
Trump.
As a show.
No, I love Donald Trump. I love The Apprentice. Thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But that's where it should have stopped.
Correct. AJ, any other comments or any
OJ,
comments at all?
OJ.
OJ. Yeah, I don't mind OJ. The juice is loose.
Not all black people are OJ. Okay, just so you know.
Oh my God, we are
Little FYI.
we cannot edit that out. We are live.
Just feel he needs to be told.
We are certainly live. Everyone just agreeing with Zoe and Dom here. New fans here.
Well, if you are pro-Trump, just if you can get your primordial stumps just to smash out some opinions, that would be great. Right, we need to just. I don't know how much time we've got left for Brexit. Just a very quick one-liner on Brexit each, because I feel like it's been done to death. It bores me, but people are asking what's going to happen after we leave the European Union. Zoe.
Nobody has a clue. That's exactly in a nutshell. Not David Davis, not Theresa May, not any of them. Nobody has a clue. And you know, I was a Remainer, and just got my Irish passport, so a little less concerned, if
You'll
I'm
be
very
sodding
honest. I'll be river dancing my way through every priority queue in the future. High kicking, giving the V's.
I don't want to be in that really long queue when you turn up at the airport.
Yeah.
You know, there's people all around, or someone holding a goat, someone with a Lonely Planet, some Australian backpackers. Please, my children. I don't want to be in that queue.
No,
The queue's
you will
still
be.
there. The airports are terrible. And you saying now it's all wonderful. You're living in a dream world. You always turn left on the aircraft. We poor people go in the cattle truck. You try it going
Hang on.
that side.
You're the
You try
person
it
who
that
said
way.
you fly business and your wife flies economy.
Well,
presumably
no,
now
well,
you
no.
fly economy and she walks.
No,
What happened?
there's a slight difference. No, there's a slight difference. Because for one or two times, if you go around the world, you go all-in trip and it's much cheaper. So I did it
What?
that way.
You're interrailing around the
Listen,
world.
we've moved on to air travel. Brexit. What's going to happen when the country is Brexit? Where's the NHS money? Was the bus a load of bullshit? Come on, you were Brexit.
We aren't going to be giving all the billions we're giving to these corrupt officials over in Brussels. We'll rule ourselves, we'll control our borders, we'll control our money, we'll control our laws. Thank goodness. You want foreigners to tell us what to do? What Brussels people... Yes, it is. You're a Remainer. You're a Remainer. You're a Remainer. A lot of you Remainers wake up to the... Smell the coffee. We're out.
Why do we all remain and John leaves?
Please, John. We need John. We
We do need John.
He's killing
I think
the
the world
internet.
needs John to
So,
make us realise what's wrong.
What about the, without getting too geeky, like, because we could get into the ins and outs of the customs union and stuff like that. But the Irish border is a realistic possibility, because how can we not have free movement but have people coming across from Dublin to Belfast? Then
It's obvious,
how's
isn't
it
it?
going to
We're
work?
going to build a wall. We're going to build a huge wall and keep all the Irish out of Ireland. Honestly, you can joke about it, but I was very anti-Brexit when it happened, but since it's happened, I mean, I don't know if I'm alone, but I mean, it's been brilliant.
All you
everything is
trendy
going
lefties
really well.
are anti-Brexit. All of you, the whole
Why
lot
do you
of
think
you are
that is?
united. Anti-Trump, anti-Brexit,
Yeah.
not moving forward, not trusting the British people. They can rule themselves, not getting foreigners to do it. Unelected foreigners, and most of them, you've no brain, you can't rule yourself, let alone the country.
Do you know what I see Brexit as? The
who is
death
gonna
rattle,
vote?
the death rattle of the old.
Yeah.
That's what I see it as. Just old people going, no!
Do you know-
You
I think
can't
we
have
should-
it and I
we
won't
should
have
ju-
it either.
We should just delay Brexit and tell all the
Just-
oldies it's happening.
Yeah.
And once they've
Accepted
left,
it.
then we can just crack on.
Do you know what I find puzzling about the age thing? That statistically, if you're older, you are more likely to have voted Brexit. Is that old people are the first people to moan about being lonely. I never see any different people. No one comes round here. Well, what about Peter from Poland? Not him. He can fuck off.
Yeah.
Hard, soft, somewhere in between. Do you
Easy
understand?
over. I don't know. It's does it really make a difference at this point? I don't know. I mean, what we're going to get? I genuinely don't know, Russell. I genuinely don't know what we're
A lot
going
of
to
people
get.
don't know online either. But
Well,
from a
this is
personal point
insightful,
of
isn't
view-
it?
Yeah.
Probably, nobody has a clue.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're only at the beginning, aren't we? From a personal point of view,
It's
I'm
been
not
a
able
year.
to get a house this year, so that's...
Not in
that's
Europe,
odd.
you can't.
No,
Not
but
anymore.
there we are.
No, but Zone
There we
6,
are.
which is the same thing. Yeah. No, but, I mean, the point is, we're saying we don't know, like we're a crap panel, but that is the viewpoint of the government.
That is the viewpoint of the government.
Nobody bloody knows. And anybody that knew left the day after the referendum. And we were left with the kind of B team who are
All
also
your
leaving.
scare
So the
stories.
only person who's left who thinks they know what's going on is John McKerrick.
Fear.
That's
Project
the situation
Fear,
we're in.
epitomised by this lunatic here. Project Fear.
Right.
Don't fear. Trust the British people.
And
Project Catheter. That's what we want.
just for absolute clarity, because I'm already hearing the comments coming in, we were not saying that anyone who voted Brexit, I'm not saying, John's saying that, is right-wing. I don't believe that. There are some left-wing Brexit voters. I'm just saying...
Sensible working-class people like me.
The
You're
point
quite
I'm making
right.
is
yeah.
all the racist people I've ever met did vote Brexit. I haven't met a racist Remainer. I'm not saying they don't exist. In fact, if you are out there, please comment. Come to us. Remainers who want to remain but hate the people who then remain.
Yeah, but
maybe they exist.
They're contrary racists, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're shy racists. Sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Then you get the people who've been out in Spain for the last 20 years.
They're coming back.
And who voted...
Yes, because no one speaks bloody English out there, do they?
Yeah.
But the ones that voted to leave, but live in Spain, and you know, and then sit there going, well, I mean, you know, there's just too many foreigners back home, isn't there? They're sitting in Costa del Brit, sat there eating egg and chips, never learnt the language.
That is the largest immigrant group in
Yeah.
the whole of Europe, is the 1 million odd Brits living in the south of Spain.
Yeah.
And they're coming back, John.
and they're going to
They're
collapse the
coming home.
NHS.
And they're all
No,
on
you're
parole,
absolutely
actually.
wrong. There's over 1 million, just over 1 million Brits are living abroad, overseas, not just in Spain.
No, there's about 800,000 odd people living in the south of Spain.
There's two in Poland, I know that.
We've got far bigger immigrant groups over here. I don't mind immigrants if they come here, if they can work,
Bloody
if they've
Cornish,
got
eh?
a job to go
If
to,
they've
and
got
they
a
can
hand
speak
job.
the language. What's wrong with that? You've got to have qualifications to join a club. We're a club. And we won't have people in the club who can't work, who won't work,
Okay.
who've got no
What
qualifications.
would be your top 3 qualifications for people living in England?
Good question.
Wanting to work.
Wanting to work.
Wanting to work, wanting a job. And
Okay, well,
a lot
that's
of people
fucking
come here
60%
don't.
gone. Yeah,
No, it's
next.
not. No, it's
Hold on a
not.
second,
You
John.
prove
So
it. You
people
can't prove
go.
it. You can't prove it.
So people travel all the way across Europe in the back of a lorry just to come
Because
somewhere so they
because
won't
can't
work.
get any work where they are.
So they come all the way over
Of
not
course
to
they-
work
so
here.
they all come here.
So they do want to work.
Hold on a second, Dot. You've just said the number one qualification is wanting to work, and someone's
Yeah.
travelling
Wanting-
in a lorry
that's
because they
one.
want to work.
That's
No,
right.
they can't work where they come from, so they go all the way across Europe in a lorry to come here not to work, apparently.
Brilliant.
So you would let anybody in, wouldn't you?
I'd let absolutely everybody in, yeah, except you. You're out.
On that note, let's go
We need
over
to
to
move
the
on.
next subject.
Oh, yeah, we've really...
I mean, we've absolutely rinsed that.
Can we
but
please have
everyone,
something nice, please?
do you know
Something
what?
fluffy.
It's not. It's all about the people still banging on about the BBC wage gaps between men and women
Right, this should be easy.
Here we go.
Here we
and
go.
diversity. Russell.
Well, John's got
And-
nothing to say on this, obviously.
And diversity.
Yeah.
Great.
Race.
Structural prejudice in my own business, telly, gender, sexuality and ethnicity. Right, let's really get into trouble, right? And I can feel the nerves. Tell him to be careful, Ollie. He's speaking about gender and race and he's a white man. Former protective TP using copies of The Guardian. Tell me when this bit's over. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that viewpoint. I believe we're all allowed to be outraged by this. Right, ladies? I can be outraged. And it is, of course, wrong. Two people sat on the same couch reading the same stuff out should not be getting paid differently. Pipe down, AJ. If you want this job, you're going to have to toe the line, princess.
OJ.
Oh, sorry, OJ. Are we even allowed to do that? No, it's disgusting. Look. Equal pay, right, should be paid to equal experience. I'm hoping this will prove uncontroversial with the panel. However, and this is where I'm a plan to get into shit, let's not be careful to overshadow a bigger issue. Guess what? Most people, regardless of whether they have a willy or a twinkle, aren't getting paid enough, full stop. How about that for a mind bomb? I don't know about anyone else, but I started to wince a little bit after the 10th time of hearing this. I only earn £470,000 at my BBC job.
You're overpaid.
Yes, but I have to sit next to a man who earns £570,000. Oh, the injustice. Where should I shop for my groceries? In Asda or Lidl? Right? I'm sorry, but I struggle to imagine a woman on a 5 a.m. train to a mind-numbing job in a jam factory going, "Yay, thank you, BBC female presenter. This is my fight." I'm sorry to break it to you people, but equal pay already exists for men and women. The majority of them. That's right. I'm talking about men and women who earn jack shit, right? Welcome, new staff. Here at Wimpy Burger, we are an equal opportunity employer. That's right. Everyone earns fuck all. All contracts have a genderless 0 hours, and we're not racist. You all mean shit to us. Right, clock off, peasants. Off to your shiny food bank. Right? I know it's uncomfortable. This next bit makes me so uncomfortable because I realise I'm not in a position to comment on it, but I do believe there is structural prejudice, John, woven into our business that some of us, men, white people, can't even see. Race, religion, gender, it's there. And it's a cocktail that needs tackling. But you know the one that always gets ignored? Class. We never talk about... When was the last time you saw a chav from Essex reading the news?
Excuse me, mate, can you
We've
keep
never...
it down a little bit?
Sorry, mate, sorry. I should know my place, shouldn't I? I mean, have you ever seen that? We've never seen some poor person from Dagenham reading the news at 10. Jeremy Corbyn was mugged off today because he tried to wank off Kem from Love Island. That's never happened. But I would like to get to where we think the root of this problem with gender is, and I think it's simple. Our attitude to childcare in this country. Women aren't supported, and it's hard. You hear women say, it's hard to be a woman. I'm a feminist and I'm career-focused, but my biological clock is also ticking. That put me 3 years behind. It's so hard to be a woman. Yeah, and it is. And if you listen to the sexist language around the debate, John, I don't know why I'm looking at you. Yeah, us men, we do not have a biological clock. We can do it whenever we fucking like. Yeah, right. I think we should have a biological clock, lads. Is that controversial? I mean, Janet Jackson just had a sprog at 50, right? And the misogynistic language was shocking. Yeah, you old hag, you're going to give birth to talc. Disgusting. What about the older men who are popping out sprogs? The likes of Mick Jagger, a piece of bacon, impregnating a schoolgirl through the gates. Oh, well, I can't wait for you to finish your A-levels. Ding, ding, doo, doo, ding. I'm going to raise a proposition tonight, panel, that the cut-off should be the same for men. The biological cut-off should be the same for men. How about that, girls? I don't want to be sucking on my Ventolin on the sideline, too old to play with my kids. Sorry, Daddy can't join in with football because I blew my biscuits up some bird when I was 80. And do you know what? Do you know what? Last week, a scientist proved that we do age reproductively. Male old sperm is rubbish. I don't want sperm with Len Goodman voices. Seven, right? I don't want travelling on penny farthings. Come on, lads, let's try and fertilise. Who do you think you are, kid? I do hope the egg is powdered like it was during the war. Seven.
Have you ever heard a more ageist rant than that?
Yeah.
That is absolutely
Just recently,
disgusting.
really, very recently.
Absolutely disgusting. It's such prejudice that you
was
show against older people. Not that I speak for the young people of this country,
No.
so don't tell me about the older people. All I say, one serious point for this programme,
pipe
and
down,
the thing we should all
Jamiroquai.
remember. We should remember. If we would all obey this, we would be happy. It doesn't matter who sleeps with who. Man and man, woman and woman, man and woman. What they do, entirely up to them. It's nothing to do with the state, nothing to do with you or anybody else. Two exceptions. It must be consensual and it must be over age. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Why are we hung up on sex as to who does what to whom, where? It doesn't matter. It's none of our business.
To be fair, no one mentioned it. He brought it up.
He was talking about gender, didn't you listen?
Oh, come on.
yeah.
He was talking
Hold that thought.
coded language about Gary Lineker. We all know he's If you can't pick that up, come on.
We will debate this properly in a minute, John. Hold that thought, because there's one last area that apparently is structurally woven into our prejudices, people. And comedian Stephen Bailey wrote a searing piece of journalism the other week saying that gay people also horrifically miss and underrepresented in our industry. Look, I'm sorry to go back to Trump, but is it any wonder that stuff's going backwards when the world's loudest voice, Donald Trump, defrosted pork mince rolled in pubes, clearly has a problem with women's and gays. Listen, transgender soldiers, he doesn't want them in the army. Did anyone find that an awful thing to say? If someone is defending my family from invaders, I don't really care whether they're transgender or not.
Agreed.
I don't know about you. And
Agreed.
it's ironic, John, that Donald Trump, the man so against transgender people serving in the military, is himself transitioning into such a massive cunt. Sorry, John.
No, he's wrong.
No, John, let's go.
Absolutely wrong. It doesn't matter what your sexual proclivity is, as long as it's overage and it's consensual.
But listen,
don't you agree? Even
And frequent.
you.
Yeah.
Frequent, all the time.
More importantly, why is it always draft dodgers that are very keen to send people off to war, basically? It's very odd.
Yes. Before we move on to this transgender debate, I do want to get on there. I just want to pick up what you were saying, John. No one was dictating who should shag who, which is what we were saying was that we have two ways of speaking. One way about women and one way about men.
And age with you.
And particularly in relation to women and age. And the problem is, because we have two different ways of speaking, that's what causes the sexist problem in our culture. That's the point I was trying to make. Not that you can't shag someone with... I certainly wasn't suggesting you couldn't shag someone without consent.
No, but that's all, but nothing else should matter. Why do people care who sleeps with who?
We all agree you can shag whoever you want.
Do you care who sleeps with whom?
No, not at all.
Exactly.
I'd be concerned if you approached anyone I knew.
You agree with me?
I think I've slipped into a wormhole.
I think if John can get anyone to consent, he should fuck them.
Well, I am available.
So if anyone out there is interested...
John, do you think...
OJ, I'm available.
OK, you're available. Not for me. Do you think that men and women should be paid equally then?
Yes, of course, for equal jobs. But why is it that women want the same for Wimbledon, for instance, when they paid 3 sets, 5 sets for men? Why can't women produce a world snooker champion? Why can't they be a darts player? Only sport...
Because they're more interesting than that.
Wait, only sport professionally where they're on equal terms is horse racing, equestrianism. Women on level terms, better, many of them, better than the men. Good for them. Follow horse racing, follow equestrianism, then women are equal.
Well, also mixed
better.
doubles, mixed skating, any of those team sports that have mixed ability. Yeah.
They don't compete against each other.
Yes, they do.
They
Mixed
don't.
doubles, they
You
compete
don't have
against
a
each
world
other.
champions skater, men and women competing. You have them dancing together
Yes,
and that kind of thing.
yeah.
Dancing together, but not competing. Men compete separately to the women.
Greco-Roman wrestling.
The
Yeah.
So, well, there you are.
I just wanted to say it.
No,
sorry.
you condemn yourself again.
Yeah, it's just something I like.
So I'll be interested to know what you think of this. So a cafe in London, after all this came out, are imposing a man tax on orders to try and equalise the wealth of men and women. So if you order a sandwich, you have to pay slightly more as a man.
Right.
Why?
Yeah,
Do you
I
agree
like
with
that.
that?
Yeah,
What?
perfect.
Yeah.
Just to piss them off, really, Dom. That's just to annoy them. Just to annoy them.
But I'm not against it, but I'm not a business person, but it seems a pretty basic business
that is-
flaw there.
yeah,
that
they're playing
they
the
might
long
not
game
find
there.
a lot of men going
Yeah.
there.
What
They're
do you
playing
think,
the
John?
long game
In a
there.
sandwich cafe, if you get consent, should you be able to stick your dick in a sandwich?
Whatever the owner of the shop wants to do, fine. People won't go. Let
What,
the
in my
market
sandwich?
forces. Let market forces decide. If they're doing something obnoxious, people won't go. They'll have to shut down.
Shut down. Skepta, if you're watching, feel free to comment. OK, moving on. Now, I would love to really get stuck into ethnic diversity and structural prejudice in telly, but I can't. Sadly, I'm a white bloke, and anything I say is going to come off the wrong way. But it's there. Surely it's... Do you think it's there, Zoe? That in our business, there's like a sort of invisibility mask over the way people employ and hire people in our business, and there's not enough black and brown faces in
Well,
it.
if you look at telly and then you take a walk in the street, you will go, there's a slight difference here between what I'm seeing in the street on a day-to-day basis and what is being portrayed on my screens. I mean, there are very few disabled people who are presenting, very few disabled actors.
Yeah.
Gay women are just about being allowed in. We weren't for ages. You had one. Sandy took all of that, and then they were like...
Yeah, but she's Danish. They're going to kick her out now.
Yeah. Brexit.
Sexit.
Lexit.
Is she that she's the leader? Sandy's
She's the leader. She's the one that we all gather round. And
Yeah,
sort
she's
of-
the head lesbian.
Yeah.
She's the alpha lesbian, is she?
She's the alpha lesbian. and
Have
we
you
all-
not noticed her silver pelt on QI?
Yeah. She's a silverback. That's what that is. Yeah, because it comes out of... It's nepotism, it's people going to school with each other, it's, we know that there are a lot of actors in this country that have, all gone to school together in very nice schools. They're like, you play marvellously, and yes, thank you very much, you do a lovely, really, thank you very much, it's super, And so it's, there's a lot of barriers still to be broken down.
Dom, it's uncomfortable to admit it, isn't it? But do you think it's there?
Yes, it is. And I went to a boarding school, and everyone from my school didn't do showbiz. So actually, for me, one of the things I liked about telly when I started was I actually thought it was one of the few things that was meritocratic. You might get in through someone, but you're not going to last long if you're rubbish, basically. So I'd argue that.
Isn't it harder to get in initially, though? If you're not
Totally.
from a
No, I'll tell you what's the real problem is that actually basically now people do internships where you're not paid, and therefore you have to have a bit of private income to allow you to be able to do that, and that stops people getting in.
I know.
That's what's great.
If everyone just wants to put some gaffer tape around the internet, I'm about to ask John McCrick about race. John, do you think there's a problem with ethnic diversity in telly, particularly in this country?
But the ethnic diversity in telly, the reason for it is the people who are doing the hiring. You look at the people who run the BBC, run ITV, run all the corporations. They're the people who decide, and they're nearly all white. I tell you one thing, I would not like to be a black person in this country, because the racism is so deeply ingrained.
Most black
they
people
must
wouldn't
face
either.
it, and I'll ask you, OJ. Do you have? No, I'm asking OJ. Isn't it the kind of racism that
like a sort
white
of
people
weird
don't have to
pantomime,
put up
isn't
with?
it?
Do you ever have to put up with it? The racism, the snide remarks.
People
the
just
sort of
assuming you're a
reference to
black
you.
felon,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
You do.
Well, do you know what, actually? Funny enough, I'm born and raised in Blackburn. And we always
You'd never
used-
guess.
I know. We always used to get pulled over by the police, and I was like, oh, for years I thought it was a racial thing, but it turns out you're not allowed, like, 9 family members in a...
All right, well, AJ, I'm always trying to bring
OJ.
I'm always trying to bring new talent through. We've had a video, haven't we, from upcoming... Someone saying in my ear we've had an upcoming... something.
Up and coming British comedian Judy Love. I mean, we've not vetted the video, but apparently she's speaking from the heart.
Judy. OK, let's see it.
Yeah, so I do feel like as a black female actress, comedian, some roles are limited to me. For example, like now I'm here doing this video and you've got like AJ in the studio. Like, ooh, you know, you're not acting like you're a pack of wine gums and, you know, only one black can be in the packet. You know, and I think to myself, there's so much advantages from being a bit more diverse. You know, I'm a girl from Canning Town. Russell, you know that because I've been calling you. I called you, I texted you, I emailed you, I Facebooked you. I did all the yous, and I was thinking, is it because I'm from Canning Town? Because I'm from Canning Town. I should be in somewhere. I should be in one of those shows like Doctor Who, because the streets where I'm from is like pharmacies. And I've been messaging you, emailing you. I can't get nothing. And I know it's been delivered. Blue ticks. Surely, because I'm a big girl, like I'm a big thing. I'm proper black. Like, I'm proper black. I'm Jamaican. I can do an American accent, but I'm back. Is it because I've got 2 cats? Russell, I'm sure you had a thing about cats. One of the cats is like black, you know, and the black cat can't come through the front. Has to go through the back. My ex said having 2 pussies is a good thing. I know I've got skills. Like, I've got mad skills. Is the hair too curly for you? You want me to be straight hair like AJ? Then I got a Brazilian weave. I've got a Brazilian weave wig up in this place. You just need to call me. Like, I don't understand why you ain't call me yet.
Wow.
I'm really sorry. I thought that was going to be something intelligent.
I'm here. Okay, you didn't need to call me because I'm here. Like,
Judy,
you could've had me
it's got
here
nothing to do with
instead of
diversity.
sucking on
You're-
Trump's balls.
It's just because you're a new... Can I have some security help, please? It's just because you're a new comic. It was nothing to do with race. I'm not having that. I'm sorry, Judy. You're not having it. I'm sorry.
Bring her back! Bring her back! Bring her back! Bring her back! We want her back! Bring her back!
Actually, can someone find out if Judy will consent to John, and if so, bring her back. Right, I think...
I like well-developed girls.
Yes, I'm sure you do. I mean, I would love to go through your hard drive and then visit you in prison afterwards. OK, I think we got time for one more, Katie. I mean, we're almost out of time.
Very quickly.
Something light to finish with, something frivolous, something we can zip through.
Sadly, it's not about the birds and bees, Russell. Kim Jong-un versus Trump. Yeah. North Korea. Let's chat about that.
Let's finish off with global Armageddon, shall we? Right, we'll have to be quick here because next time I see you, this may well all be nuclear dust. And isn't it ironic that the threat to the world isn't going to come from the centre, Saudi Arabia or anywhere like that, nowhere from the Middle East? No, it's going to come from a fat atheist toddler. And I can see the people that Kim Jong-un, he must be a bit Muslim. Surely. He just must be a touch Muslim. No. Kim Jong-un is an atheist and Trump's a Christian and they can potentially destroy us in missiles. Turns out the real threat to the world is just massive twats, regardless of religion, right? And Kim's keeps telling us about all these weapons. Yeah, I'm going to get you a weapon. I'm going to destroy you. This week, you're next week, but one. I didn't mean next week exactly. I meant next week. But this week, we find out if he's bullshitting, right? What Guam we're going to find out. I'm about to fire a missile. You better watch it. Do you know who he reminds me of, people? That person at school who used to tell lies. My dad's a policeman, and tomorrow he's going to come up and get you arrested. And if I kick my own bum when I'm running, you can't hurt me because I hurt myself. That's who he reminds me of. Has he really got a long-range weapon? Yeah, I've got a long-range weapon. I can attack the south of North Korea. How about that? I mean, I don't know about you, but we've been banging on about Brexit and everything else, but doesn't Brexit seem a bit irrelevant when you consider Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un? By the way, the nuclear button looks a bit like a woman's breast. I don't want to worry you, girls. Donald Trump is likely to press that. I just want to see what it feels like. Oh, it's just so round, I want to squeeze it. It's just banter. Right? I mean, we've been worrying about Brexit and Brussels. We've been polishing the crockery while the house burns down. We're about to die in nuclear Armageddon, possibly. And you can almost guarantee, though, right, if we are wiped out in a nuclear Armageddon because of Pyongyang, right, there'll still be someone in Essex called Gary. As he sinks into the nuclear dust, his last words will be these: "At least we're not joined to Brussels anymore." That's progress. Right? North Korea, ladies and gentlemen. Right. We are almost at time. We've just got 3 or 4 minutes for this last question. I just want to be David Dimbleby so bad.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Just time for a few more questions. Dom, North Korea, I hear that you've been there.
I have been to North Korea, yeah.
Do they? And what's it like? Are the bars and restaurants good?
It is. It's honestly the weirdest place you'll ever go in the whole world. It's totally creepy.
What about John's house?
As I said, of all places I've been. I tell you, all I know from North Korea is having been there, I mean, it's a completely screwed up place, but nothing works there. I mean, literally, the whole place is falling apart. So the idea that they've got any sort of missile technology that can hit, frankly, South Korea, if not America, I'm not frightened at all.
But isn't that the point, that all of the money is spent on the military?
Well, you'd think so, but having been there isn't any money to spend. I mean, it is literally a shithole. I mean, it's a total and utter dilapidated state. Most of it is spent on his apartments, his entourage and stuff. No, I genuinely don't
But
think.
where do they get those thousands of people in the squares to worship him, marching him, holding
Well,
up?
they're the people living in North Korea, and he just forces them to do
How
it.
is it that they're all for-
They're
I'm
all
asking
forced.
you,
No,
I'm-
they're
I'm-
genuinely
I'm-
forced. When you go to North Korea, what's extraordinary is you understand the power of architecture. Like, all the architecture is huge and imposing, and it surrounds you, and you've got big squares, and you feel very powerless as an individual, and every square is full of people being made to march. There are people at the side of the road cutting grass
It does
with
sound like Essex.
scissors. It is a bit like
There's lots of big architecture and people with nothing buying Rolexes.
yeah, it's the Brunswick Centre, basically, yeah.
Zoe, do you think you'd get on with Kim Jong-un?
Kim Jong-un, I
He'd
wouldn't be able to
have
take
a
my...
good haircut if he joined the lesbian community, wouldn't
Do
he?
you know, I had a bit of... I know a couple of Kim Jong-un haircut owners. In fact, for a while there, in the late 90s, I sported a bit of a Kim
I know.
Jong-un. Yeah.
When you go in the nightclub, I'm intercontinental ballistic tonight, lady.
I like to imagine if you go into a hairdresser's in Phnom Penh, they just have a picture of me up in the barber shop in the back. Like those weird 80s photos you used to get like that.
Quite weirdly, I have been into a barber's in Pyongyang, and weirdly, there are 6 official haircuts, and you're only allowed that. And you go in, there are a picture of 6 haircuts, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, men and women.
I thought that was just like an internet hoax.
No, it's totally true. Been in and got it. I got a picture
What would
of it.
happen to John in North Korea?
Well, I tell you,
Wonderful thing.
Dom here looks very much like Kim Jong-un. Let's look at him.
I'm on
No,
it.
there is a resemblance. Is there not a resemblance? Very quickly, I'll ask you this. Survey of 5,000 American women. Surveyed them. They asked, would you sleep with President Clinton? 78% replied, never again.
What?
78%, you fool, said never
No, I
again.
heard
They
you,
wouldn't
but
sleep with him.
what on earth are you
That
talking
was
about?
on the survey.
But what's this got to do with North Korea?
Well, it's the popularity of the president and your mate Kim Jong-un.
Okay, you
Well,
know
you're
Clinton's not president anymore.
I hope you're not Kim
I
Jong-un.
think we should just stay on air and
The
see what
doppelganger.
Very weird. Very odd.
So,
God.
John,
Brain's like a boggle, isn't
I
it?
know.
John.
Totally sane, man.
I can hear it. It's saying, I'm a prisoner, please help me.
Is that who Booby really is? You don't really have a wife, do you?
Oh,
I
she's
live
so
with my
grateful
puppets.
for what she's got.
On that bombshell, please let end this.
Yes, AJ, any comments on North Korea before we finish this whole show and then go and get...
Just one that's really stand out. Kim Jong-un versus Donald Trump. Who would piss the furthest?
It is that, isn't it? It's two little boys.
Yeah.
Actually, not Rolf Harris, Peter. But it's two little boys with weapons, saber rattling.
It's willy waving on the biggest scale possible. Unfortunately, those willies are nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mine certainly is when I go out clubbing. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for tonight. We'll be back with another Kaneing special next month. A big thank you to all my guests and John.
Boo him! Boo him!
If you want to carry on the debate online afterwards, then ask yourself this question. Why aren't you out of the house, you screen-addicted, socially inept loser? And if you're over 30 and you're sending pictures with a dog ear filter on, you know what to do. Smash your own face into a desk. Not literally, just find a twattish emoji for it. Thank you very much. Good night!